Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to take a look at DerrocAr, which is going to be a 1 to 5 player game published by Ion Games. This game is going to be set in Argentina in 2001 in a time of turmoil when the country is having a hard time keeping a president any more than a couple days. And we're going to be playing as a politician vying to be a president for Argentina and be the one to solve its problems or become its problem. Um, so this game does have a solo mode, but when we get on the table here, I'm just going to show you the multiplayer mode of the game here. I'm not going to really show you how to play the game, but I'm going to give you a general idea how the game plays. And then we're going to come back and I'm going to give you my final thoughts. All right, this is DerrocAr, and DerrocAr is going to be set in Argentina 2001. And this is going to be a period of instability for Argentina, where they're having a hard time keeping a president in office to be able to create some security for the country and help fix some of its many problems, including its internal and external debt. So to win this game, you're going to be playing through rounds. You're going to be playing as a politician here. And each of these politicians has asymmetric powers here that you can use once. And once you use them, you flip them over. And then you also have some starting bonuses with it. Now, throughout this game, you're going to be using these different board actions to do different things. And you're going to be trying to gain these supporter tokens over here. You're going to be trying to get up to 10 support tokens, and that's one way that you can win the game. The other way that you can win the game is if you fix all 6 debt maturities here. So you want to make sure you pay off the country's debt here. If you do and you have the president token, which is this thing here, at that point, you're going to win the game. So that's going to be how you win the game. The other way that you could win the game is if all the other presidents are out of the game. That doesn't really happen unless you're going to be playing in a 2-player game, which could happen. And the way that you're going to get knocked out of the race is if you get 4 conflict tokens, which are up there. There's 4 different types, but if you have 4 conflict tokens, you'll be out of the game. Now, how do you play this game? Well, you're going to be taking a series of turns. And these series of turns here are going to be going through a board phase and then a card phase where you play the cards you have. So in the board phase, you're going to go through this order chart here. And it has a nice handy-dandy player reference to show you. So like you'll do an event check. And what you're going to do is you're going to look at this market row here and see if you have any event cards. And what an event, oh, here's one right here that this character gets. Event cards here are going to be something that if it's in this row, they're going to immediately trigger off. And you're going to you're going to do what it says. In this case, this politician is going to get 1 bad image token. So you would do that, go into a discard pile. You do any of the other ones that are in here, and you'll give them a bad image token or whatever else it says. There's all sorts of different ones. You'll just do them all that say there. You cleared it. Nobody can play conflict cards. So those will get cleared out. You'll do whatever they say. And then you're going to move to the next phase here, or next part of this turn order here, which is going to be the president's turn. You're going to check to see if the debt tracks are balanced. So that's going to be these debt tracks here. Right now they're balanced, but if you start paying these things off, suddenly it becomes not balanced. If it's on the internal debt side, you're going to take 10 cards out of this deck and put them in the discard. If it's on the domestic side, you're going to put 10 cards back in. And bad things are going to happen when this deck runs out and you have to reshuffle it. So you're going to want to probably not do that depending on what you're trying to do. You're probably going to want to try to keep it balanced or to the domestic side. But there are some situations where you want it to go to the internal side and start shuffling through that deck really quick. It can actually go very quick. Next, you're going to choose, this is the action phase. You're going to choose 1 board action to take. Now, there's going to be a bunch of board actions on here. So let's go over each one of these board actions. Technically, call on Cavalo is a board action, but not really. So that one's a little confusing, but we're going to talk about your normal board actions first. So if you're president, you can go over here and you can actually declare one of these. Like you can declare martial law if that's what you want to do for your board action. All players remove one of their, I can never pronounce these words. So you're going to be able to remove some of your tokens here with this card here. So you could move some conflict tokens with this, and discard up to 10 cards from the, or discard 10 cards from the deck. Then you're going to flip this over. Now, these abilities are available for the president. When the president changes, which will be whoever has the most support, unless one of the politicians has a thing that doesn't let them do that, these will get flipped back so they can do them again. The other thing that you could do is you could go over here and you can try to pass a law here. So you're going to take a look at one of these and you're going to say, okay, I'm going to try to pass this law, read it out loud to the other players. And they're either going to show this C for yes or no for no. And then we're going to just put them in our hand and we're going to show what we want. Now, if there's more C's than no's, then we're going to go over and see if the law passes. So that would be that we are allowed to present the law. Now we see if the law passes. At that point, you're going to see if you're going to put some money in your hand, and then you're going to open it up. The person who had put the most of money, if they said C, that it'll pass. If they said no, it won't. If there's a tie, it doesn't pass. If it passes, you'll do whatever it says on the card here. Then you'll flip it face down and flip the next one up. If it doesn't pass, you'll do the same thing. You'll discard the token, put it on the bottom, put a new one up. You could also go over here and pay off some debt. You could pay off some internal debt or domestic debt. If you pay off the internal debt, you'll get one of these cards. And there may not be enough of these cards for all the players if this politician is in play. But these cards will go to your hand, and they're very helpful. So same thing with if you pay off debt on this side. You'll get this. You have to pay them from the top to bottom. So the internal debt's going to start at 6 million, 5 million, then 4 million. This one's going to be domestic, 3 million, 4 million, then 5 million. So you can pay off some debt. You can also go to the Banco Central. So you get a central bank. You can make a deposit, leave X money on this board, and draw cards from the deck. So the deck's going to be top here, not the market row. You could embezzle money, take 5 million from the general supply and add one bad image token. Or you could receive funds. You can take all that's on here. So you can do one of those three things for the central bank. This bulletin board, some of the cards will go out on here to that have like longer term actions, like some of the events on there, like no one can use whatever. They could go on the bulletin board there. So that's it for the normal board actions. You can use your support token entities. Now, when you get support tokens throughout the game, you can use their abilities here. So they have some actions they can do, so that you could actually have done these instead. Like this one here, after the event, Bush Call flips it to the 4-point side. That's pretty cool. But here's your action. Swap 2 cards in the market. Ask for a loan. Take 3 million from the supply and remove the last international payment on the debt track. So you can make more debt for the country, but get some money back. So that's pretty not nice. The other thing to do is you could do your character thing. Now your character has an action on them. Not all of them do, but a lot of them do. And here, like I could draw one lobby card from the discard pile. Once I do that, I flip the card over. I no longer have the action. It's a one-time thing. I can call on Cavalo. If I do that, this guy's pretty sleazy here. You're going to get some cool bonuses here on each of your board face. So if you call on Cavalo, each of your board faces take one lobby European company card from Cavalo to your hand. If there's any left, I didn't set any on here, but you'll have a bunch of lobby cards here right on the side here. And you get one free vote when voting for laws, which is pretty nice. Now, if you're the president, these things also happen. Take one protest token, take one against the CGT token, activate bank run, and discard 10 cards from the deck. So really bad stuff. Well, depending on what you're trying to do. That guy, you could call on him. So the other thing you can do is you could do nothing. So you don't actually have to take an action on your action phase. If you don't want to do anything on the board, you don't have to do anything. Then you could buy from the market, which is going to be down here. If you buy from the market, you're just going to pay in millions what it says above. You're going to buy all the cards you want. So you start the game with $10 million. You're going to buy all the different cards you want. So let's say I wanted to buy these three, which would be $6 million. Those go to my hand. And I would pay the $6 million and get my change. And then we would refill it. So these would all move down, and we would refill like this. So that's all there is to that. And we're going to go over some cards here in a second. You're not able to play them during the board phase. Then you're going to discard until you have 5 cards left in your hand. So you want to discard down to 5 cards and refresh the market, which we just did. All right. Once everyone's taken their board phase, then we're going to go and flip this token here and go into the card phase. Now, in the card phase, you're going to do an event check again. Again, you're going to see if any events are on there. Then you're going to do a president check. You're going to see if you're balanced. If you're not balanced, you're either going to take 10 cards away from the deck or put 10 cards back in the deck. And then you're going to do the action phase, which is one of the big things of the game. You're going to choose one action to take. Play cards from your hand, which I'll show you in a second. You'll be playing cards from hand. Trade cards with another player. So you could trade anything you want except for these conflict tokens pretty much, and make promises or whatever. But you don't have to keep them. So you could say like, hey, I'll trade you a conflict card if you give me a lobby card. We'll hand each other card face down. We'll flip, see what they are. I didn't really have to give them a conflict card, and they didn't really have to give me a lobby card. So there's nothing binding in the trades at all. Now, other than that, you can discard 2 cards and draw 1 card. And the last thing you can do on the action phase is do nothing. Then we're going to go through and we'll draw 1 card from the deck, discard down to 5 cards, and end any active activities on the bulletin board or in events. So any of the long-lasting events will be removed from the bulletin board, and then we'll go back to the board phase. So real quick, we'll go to what you do for cards, for playing cards. There's different types of cards that have in here. Like this one here, promises. You can play 3 promises. So I have to have 3 promises in my hand to steal the least value supporter token from any player. So that's pretty darn cool. I could play conflict. Play this card with a lobby card and give a conflict token to the of the appropriate entity. So I could play either bad image or mobilization. If I play this yellow card with it, I'm going to give someone a bad image. So here's going to be public appearance. Take one at random between 2-point support token and a bad image token. So that could be bad. There's also these funding tokens. So the more that I play of these funding tokens, or funding cards, the more tokens I'll get. So if I pay 5 funding cards, I'll get 15 million. If I play 1, I'll get 1 million. And you're going to have to play those all at the same time. There's also going to be these lobby ones. All right. And actually, this is one of the ones that should have been over here. All right. So the way these lobby ones work is when I play these lobby ones, let's say I play 3 press media lobby cards, I will get a press media token here for worth 2 points that I can use for an action on my board action phase, but it's going to be whatever you have the majority of. So right now, press and media is the majority. However, if I had this agriculture one and another lobby one here, well, let's say I had the CGT one here. Then if I had all 3 of these, I could pick which one of the 3 that I want and take that token instead. So that's how these lobby ones work. Whatever's the majority you're going to get. If they're all tied, you can pick what you want. So that's lobby. The other thing is, the ones that are really cool is operations. Now the way the operations work is you're going to take all the operations you're going to play and you put them down on the table. You can't play any more operations after that. Some of these operations deal with drawing cards and putting the hand. You can't, even if you get operations when you draw them, you can't play them. You've played your operations. Now you could pick which order you play them in, which is pretty cool. But that's how the operations work. So that's pretty much how these cards work. And this card action phase is going to be one of the most dramatic parts of the game. And then after we said that, we'll go back to the board phase. Like I said, we're going to continue on until someone gets 10 support or someone finishes up fixing all the debt and they are the president. They'll win the game. Now, that's basically going to be how you're going to play DerrocAr. Just a couple things to note. There's a couple other things on here. This isn't really a how to play video. I'm just giving you an idea how the game flows. But you're going to gain your presidency again by having the most support. You'll become the president for the time being. And you're going to be vying over these things and backstabbing each other throughout the game until the conclusion. So let's go ahead back up to the table here, and I'll give you my final thoughts on DerrocAr. All right, so that was DerrocAr. Now, DerrocAr, the component quality is amazing in this game. Just like any of the other Ion games, they really go all out in making sure the component quality is top-notch in their game. Also, the graphics and iconography are amazing in this game. They match up perfectly with the theme and really help you get immersed in the game. Now, with all other Ion games, they are very immersive games. They really are dripping with theme in there. You feel like you're a politician in this game, vying to become president in this semi-corrupt sort of way, where you're not necessarily the good guy, but it really makes you feel like the theme suggests. So I really think this is a very thematic game. So if you're looking for something like that, this is definitely going to be the game for you, especially if you like the theme. This game is going to be 100% and like an auto purchase in there. The game itself, the rule books are really well laid out. They have a how to play, which is a straightforward guide on how to play the game, and then they have a separate one, which is a super detailed rules book and a reference guide for playing the game, which I really do appreciate that they did 2 separate rule books. Ion Games generally does a really great job with their rule books, and in this case they did an excellent job with the rule book. So this game here, although there's a lot to it, is not all that complicated. I didn't teach all the nuancey rules to the game here, but I just gave you a general overview for the game, and that's actually enough to get started, and you can look up things as you go for different interactions. But in the rule book, for the how to play rule book, isn't that long, so going through it, you'll get into the game pretty quick. Now, with all that said, I actually think this is a game that you play once, and then you're really great the second time. So this is the first game is a learning game sort of thing, which is a trend for most of the Ion games here, where you're going to play it, you're going to really learn how to play the game, and then your second game and your third game are really going to be tight. They're really going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of things that you can do in this game, and there's a lot of player interaction that really benefits from everyone knowing how to play the game or have played it before. I do suggest that if you're playing with new players and you've played this game before, you play some of the more harder politicians to play, and you give them some of the easier ones so that they can get the hang of the game, and then you have a little bit of a challenge. But I do think this game super shines. Multiplayer does have a solo mode, but multiplayer with players who've played it before. So getting that initial game out of the way and really get into like a very highly competitive, very cutthroaty game. And this game is just amazing. It is really amazing in that aspect. And I really feel that if you play your first game and you're like, try your second game now that you know how to play and really go all out. And I think you'll enjoy yourself. And that's really my thoughts on DerrocAr, where great thematically designed game, great mechanically designed game, and a lot of really cool different strategic options you can take in the game. And just like it a lot overall. And that's my thoughts on it. All right, so if you like what we do, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out a lot. We're trying to get better equipment, get more content out for you, and that helps us out immensely, and we really do appreciate it. Throw some comments down there. We'll always look at those, and we'll get back to you on anything you want to say. If you have tried this game and you liked it, I would love to hear from you, or if you've tried this game and have opinions about it, I'd also like to hear from you. But either way, have a great day, and thank you for watching.